with the beautiful John Stoll from the Atari Network, and I'm Funkmaster V. And it is, yes, sirs, another Atari Network podcast. John, Silverback,
Benny,
Atari
Funk,
programmer, how you doing?
good. I've seen that. It looks like programmer sometimes, which I definitely am not.
Too many
I'm
nicknames.
right. Yeah. Well, it's 7800 Pro Gamer. We'll leave it at that. That's the channel moniker, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing good. A lot of cool stuff on the channel. Been working on a ton of things.
You're
I've
back.
really I've been reinvigorated on this YouTube thing. I'm really enjoying all the stuff that we're doing. Covering the 7800 a lot, but that's what I love. So
Me
speaking
too.
of what, we have ECDHE in the chat, and we just did a great video for people who are filing in. If you'd rather watch that, I'm just kidding. But no,
What video did you do with him? That crazy cat.
How 7800 games work. It was.
Oh, I saw that. I haven't looked at it yet, but I saw the thumbnail. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, very informative.
Did you learn anything?
I tried very hard. I think he saw how confused I was by simple concepts. He tried to dumb it down, but I don't think he can dumb it down enough for Toledo.
I watched the one about the 2600 you guys did, and it made a lot of sense with the flicker that Atari 2600 games had, is because you could only have so many things, so they would have to kind of populate different sprites. They had to kind of flash them and trick your eye into thinking there's two things here, but they didn't have enough memory, so they would kind of like bank switch them. I learned that from that. I don't know what that's going to do for me in life, but it is interesting to see what them cats had to do back in the 70s to make these things work on these plastic carts.
It might help you. Today we are currently on a delay. We're waiting on Casdan to show up yet. But it'll help you today when Casdan, our good friend from K.R.A.Z Productions, is coming on here.
My good friend.
Yeah, our good friend, my good friend. You know, you got to call people your friend. You can't. Our mortal enemy is coming on the channel, who we despise. No, I
got a different definition of friend. I mean, a friend is somebody that help you bury a body. Would Casdan help us bury a body when we knock them 0 point homebrew kids out up there in Canada with all them cats running around?
I doubt it, because I guess he's friends with everybody. He's everybody's friend. He's Zero Page's friend too.
I don't know the cat. If he was my friend, he'd be here on time.
Yeah. Well, I did talk to him last night. He should be here soon. If not, we can just talk about his stuff a little bit here. But yeah, as ECDHE said, we learned about the parallax scrolling on Super Circus Atari Age. Did you know that? Did you know that there was parallax scrolling in that game, Vinny?
No, that's another game too that drives me crazy. How's there parallax scrolling in that game?
The balloons on the top of the screen, that's actually using parallax scrolling, which ECDHE taught me.
But they're going the same. That's wild. They're going the same speed, right? So
no, they're actually going. The top's faster, the bottom is slower and going in a different direction, and then the bottom's a different speed.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. Well, everything is A-okay here on our end. Again, hopefully Kaz shows up soon, Vinny, but there are a few other things coming up from Atari that we can get into if we do need to. Do you play Mortal Kombat at all?
I am. No is the short answer. I'm trying to get it back into brevity here. I used to be at one point a world-class, world-ranked Street Fighter II Turbo player. I was in the top 100 at one point. But Mortal Kombat and me aren't friends. There's some reasons about that. But when I do play, I'm Johnny Cage.
Okay. Well, the good news is if you want to get back into it or try to equal your skill from Street Fighter into Mortal Kombat, Atari's releasing a collection. I think they announced the last two games for that being Mortal Kombat Special Forces and what was the other one? Sub-Zero's Mythologies. Two awful, terrible games. But you
What
also
are they?
get all Sub-Zero Mythologies and Special Forces from the PlayStation 1. They're like two action-adventure games that used Mortal Kombat as like a base. The one you're Sub-Zero, the other you play as Jax. They were just bad stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I played the
Oh,
Sub-Zero one. I thought it was okay.
oh no.
Years ago.
I mean, maybe years ago. It was just I never liked it. Maybe it was good. Maybe I'm alone on that.
I doubt it.
I didn't like it.
I think a lot of people didn't dig that game. Now with Fortnite last season or the season before, they had Sub-Zero hands. I love that. I love being able to karate chop people into a million pixels on Fortnite. I did dig the Sub-Zero kit in Fortnite, but I'm not typically a great Mortal Kombat player. Even though I am impressed with their latest incarnations. I was watching the replay on like Mortal Kombat 99 or whatever they're at right now, and it was like there was butt sweat dripping down one of the black chicks' hot butts, and I'm like, this is crazy, man. This is like, I can't believe we got to the point where we're like rendering butt sweat, but I'm all about it. What's up, Pierre?
Vinny, you sound like a robot at the moment. For those that don't know, Vinny is live on location outside of Wade Rosen's house. He's going to get the scoop for us. So if he's...
Well, what about... Let's see. Talk for a minute. Maybe I'll back
I
out
will.
Back in.
Yeah, there's something going on with the audio there, but that's fine. Again, I don't know if K.R.A.Z is coming. We talked last night. He is not here yet, but that's not to say that he won't be here. We're hoping he shows up here shortly, but if not, I do got some of his stuff we can show off. We'll still make it a K.R.A.Z Productions centered chat. We're just gonna give him a few more minutes here to show up. Hey, look at that pretty face, full screen. But yeah, unfortunately, our guest is not here. Vinny's having issues. This is what we call a dumpster fire of a show. You have them once in a while. It's all right. Let's see here. Nope. Vinny came back and then left right away. So talking about K.R.A.Z, Casdan, K.R.A.Z of K.R.A.Z Productions. He is a famed Atari VCS. I don't know if famed is the right word, but a somewhat prominent Atari VCS publisher now. He doesn't really develop games himself, but he does kind of publish other people's work, and especially a lot of 2600 homebrew style stuff. So, and I'm just letting everybody know who Casdan K.R.A.Z Productions is right now, Vinny.
I figured it out.
I got you. Context.
Yeah, do I sound better, first of all?
Yeah, you sound better.
Okay. The crazy thing is I'm totally unprepared for this interview, too. This guy, K.R.A.Z Productions, Cass, and I'm looking forward to this guy getting on the show because I really wanted to learn.
Well, he just said he's in the chat. He said he's running behind.
Well, tell him to get his behind on the mics.
Get running. You're behind onto the show. No.
But he, well, maybe he can answer this when he jumps on.
Yeah.
But, and maybe he's listening right now, so he can answer this. But we would all agree that in 2023 and 2024, that was like the primo Atari VCS years.
Mm-hmm.
They were having a nice clip of the remasters. They started doing the Atari 7800 games. They were releasing Lunar Lander, Neo Sprint, Food Fight, Haunted House, Days of Doom, da-da-da-da-da. There was games they were releasing, Yar's Revenge 2. And so, or what is it? What's it called? Yours what?
Yours Rising? Was that it?
There we go. I
Sounds
like
about
that even like that even better. More positive. But they were releasing these things. Quamp 2, which you actually got a
Yeah.
code from Atari. They treated you like a real son of Atari that week.
Yeah.
And it's obvious the foot has been taken off the accelerator.
Yeah.
So up to and somebody may correct me, there's 2 Atari games that were kind of official Atari games have been released this year, and we're already almost in September. And that was Breakout Beyond, which wasn't great,
Yeah.
and iRobot, which was pretty damn good.
Right.
But iRobot may be the last Atari influenced release, and Wade Rosen was recently said to say that the community is now supporting the Atari VCS. Sounds like poo-poo.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, K.R.A.Z, which is Czechoslovakian for running 15 minutes late, K.R.A.Z from Casdan from K.R.A.Z Productions, he seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, the life force right now in the new game department for the Atari VCS store.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd say if it wasn't for him, there would not be a whole lot of stuff coming out on the VCS right now. He is, like, as he said, basically, for all intents and purposes, the VCS store at the moment. I mean, there are a few other people, don't get me wrong, but the bulk of the content has been from K.R.A.Z Productions here. And speaking of which, Vinny, our guest is here now. I'm going to bring him on stage here in a second. I prepared a introduction video so that we can get to know who Casdan is. So we'll play that for a second here, and we will.
Oh, hot damn!
Yep, it's just to show off some of the stuff he's been bringing on to the VCS and whatnot.
Is the chat ready for this?
This is high quality stuff here. I did it in about K.R.A.Z. Oh, I was supposed to narrate it. Who is K.R.A.Z? A man. A bad boy. Look at that. Look, he's bad. He was in prison for a while. He's a salesman. He sells t-shirts. I like that design. I'd like to get that. He's, some would say, sexy.
What the hell are you talking about?
And an Atari VCS publisher, obviously. Just some of the games. Let me play with the audio here. Some of the games he's put out in the VCS. A lot of 2600 homebrew. And a lot of really neat stuff, actually. I've been playing a ton of them today. Mole Smash was one of my favorites. Which one was this? Jutland, I think, something. I'm sorry, we'll have him.
Good job.
Stellar Drive. This one was really fun. I really enjoyed this one and playing it quite a bit. Galactic Intrusion was another good one. And then finally, I think this one has probably gotten the most attention, a really good positive reception on Facebook for him. Last Stand, kind of a walking simulator horror type game that he's published. So with that introduction, a few things that he's done, we kind of get to know him a little bit. Let's bring him on the stage. Casdan.
Hey guys, wow. That whole you really stole a bunch of photos from IMDb, didn't you?
Yeah. It took me about 10 minutes and one Google search to put that together. How you doing?
I want to apologize for being late. It was so not expected. So just context, I live in Bladen County in North Carolina, and I had to drive an hour away to pick up my car because it's been in the shop for the last 2 days, and we were trying to rush back. I got my spouse with me, so we are currently sitting at a McDonald's waiting for food to go home. And I'm so sorry. I know this is like super unprofessional, but the day just abandoned us entirely. So we're finally on track.
It's fine. Vinny's in his car too, so this is the car cast, I guess we'll call it.
Just need to change your green screen. That's all. Then we're all in the car.
Exactly.
But no, dude, it's great to be here. I'm really glad that I could join on this. I wish I could have joined much sooner. So,
no, we're glad you showed up, and we're glad to have you here. Again, just a lot of stuff we were talking before you jumped on here that you've put out on the VCS. You've kind of been the VCS lately. Atari themselves, as Vinny was, I think, stating or getting at, has kind of abandoned the platform a bit. Not wholly, but it seems like they've really slowed down in their releases.
Right.
A lot of their stuff that they're announcing doesn't seem to be coming to the VCS. So we're really happy to have you in the community and working on releasing games on the VCS. Now, you're strictly a publisher, correct?
Well, I won't say that I'm strictly a publisher. We do have 2 games through my company specifically that we're going to be releasing soon, which I'll get into. But primarily, yes, a publisher. I have developed games before in the past on a very independent level. I have some prototypes that I haven't released. The only game that I've officially released independently was Cyberrun, which is a game published through the, oh god, what is it called? The Panic Playdate, which is that little yellow handheld with the crank on the side.
Oh, wow.
So Cyberrun is actually a prequel story to Ghost on the Run. It kind of chronicles the origin of, well, one of the main characters in the storyline for the game, which is Uncle Victor. And Ghost on the Run, which is an excuse for just really, if I'm being honest, me and a bunch of my friends to kind of like be in something together. Ghost on the Run was really kind of that excuse. And so the story for that is me and my friends go into the video game later to save him.
Oh, wow. I was not aware of that. You can see how much research we did.
We've been pretty quiet about Ghost on the Run because we don't want to spoil a lot of things. It's turned into a much bigger project than originally it was intended. And we started developing it with the Atari VCS in mind because we wanted to be able to make a game that was specifically for that platform that, would bring people closer together, online multiplayer, local co-op matches, those types of things. And it went from being just a simple game in Unity to becoming this like really big and detailed thing. I wish I'd sent you some photos this morning, but like I said, the day got away from me because we're in beta testing for the game right now. And we are aiming for an October release. The goal is to get it out by Halloween.
Oh, wow.
Kra.Z, are you there?
Mentally, maybe. Spiritually, who knows?
Kra.Z, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Kra.Z, I love you. Now,
I love you too, Dad.
Good job. So, describe the gameplay for Ghost on a Run.
No, it's fine. We're good. I gotta get one. So, say that one more time. I am so sorry.
Kra.Z, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Tell us what the gameplay is going to be like, what we can expect with Ghost on the Run. What kind of game is it?
So Ghost on the Run takes some obvious inspiration from Pac-Man, but is more or less inspired by Ladybug or Mousetrap, where you navigate through a maze, and you have a series of obstacles and traps that you have to avoid. So the closest way that I can describe what this game is, it's Pac-Man meets Ghost in the Machine, right? So you are in a first-person perspective, not isometric view. You're in first person. You can pick up lasers, other types of weapons, and you are outrunning a digital entity known only as Dark Code, whose only purpose is to consume as much data as humanly possible in this cybernetic world. When you first boot up Ghost on the Run, you'll be able to pick through a wide variety of game modes. You'll have story mode, score chase mode, and then you'll have the online multiplayer section where you can play capture the flag, hide and seek, battle royale, and possibly score mode with other friends. Story mode will be local co-op only, just simply because of how we have the game set up. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do online for story mode, but it could be an option. And as you navigate through story mode, you'll be able to unlock additional content in the game, like BTS, like voiceover videos, other character skins that you can play as for multiplayer. Some of the characters are going to have individual stats, like some characters will be faster, some will have built-in score modifiers, and others will have more health. The main reason for why we're doing that is because we're trying to do this on cross-platform. It'll launch on PC and Atari VCS first. And you guys have my word, it will not launch on PC until it launches on VCS. That is when that's going to happen. We want to be able to prioritize the system it started on. We're going to be putting it on Android TV. We're going to get it on Air Console, hopefully. And this might be a shocker to some of you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it boldly. We are looking at trying to publish it through Amico Home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we've been in conversations with John Alvarado for quite a while. We've kind of kept that a little quiet because of obvious reasons. But we're taking it very seriously because we're already doing an Android TV port. And it's just another outlet for us to be able to publish on for, a much smaller community. I mean, they have their fans too, despite the negative controversies. Any way that we can sell the product, we're trying to explore. The only platforms we're having problems with right now is Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, because you have to have an extended package for Unity, which is like $2,000 in the year. So based off of what we make through the independent platforms, like, again, Android, Atari, and PC, that'll help us make this port to a larger platform to earn better revenue. We're also making T-shirts. We have hand-knitted plushes, and we're going to be doing hats and posters for Ghost in the Run. And we'll be selling those as bundle packages, which will also include a redeem code. So you buy the merchandise, you get the game for free.
Oh, wow. Okay, and that shirt from the video I showed earlier, was that part of it?
Yes, that is the Ghost on the Run T-shirt. That was the first order of shirts. We have them in small, medium, large, XL, and XL2. We haven't contemplated doing a larger size, but we would be more than happy to do a custom size for anybody who exceeds beyond XXL. So the larger the shirts are, the more they cost, right? Yeah. So to manufacture the shirts, let's see how much. I don't have exact numbers on what I spent to manufacture the current lot we have. We have about 50 shirts right now available. It's not very much, which is why we're going to be selling everything as a bundle, and it will be limited. Depending on how well the merchandise goes, if we sell out, within a month of launch, we'll make more. If we don't, then we probably won't. So it'll be a limited collector's thing.
Wow, very cool. Going all in, and I like it.
Don't worry about the largest sizes, man. The Ozempic is out, Monjaro's out. Everybody's getting skinny.
Well, I wanted to look into maybe doing XXXL because of my fat head, but it is what it is.
Mac OS port. Braylon wants to know real quick if there's any plans for Mac OS to be supported.
Well, actually, that is a good question. So I will be the first to say that I am unfortunately a huge fan of hating on Apple. So from a developer standpoint, Apple just really, really sucks, if I'm being honest with you. It is not out of the question, but it is not at the top of our list. So I think if there was enough call to do an Apple port, it wouldn't be hard because we're building it in Unity. So the tools are already there. So yeah, I think it could be a possibility, but it's not going to be at launch unless we have enough asking.
Okay,
I would be happy to. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think you got at least one person that's interested. Sorry, Vinny, I kind of cut you off there if you want to jump in.
K.R.A.Z.
Sir, Vinny.
Can you hear me?
No.
This is Vinny. Hey, man.
Do you need me to get the bat?
Let me ask you this, man. Why the love for Atari? Why fool with the VCS? What is the motivation? Why is it? Did you want to be a big fish in a small pond? Did you love Atari? Was it easy to code? What's the story?
What? So I know you guys can't see me right away. I am trying to unlock my door, and I'm going to be in my game room. So for those still joining, obviously I'm way behind, and I apologize.
No, you're fine. Take your time. We can. One thing Vinny's good at is filling time. Go ahead, Vinny.
Okay.
You know what? Making love.
Right.
There's no candidates around here. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we do have. Have you talked to John? We have John Alvarado. You said, did you talk with him at all? Have you personally spoke with him about the Amico?
Yes, I have. So what's the best way to set this up? Here we go. I'm gonna do a two-part answer on this. So I'm gonna answer you first, and then I'm gonna answer Vinny. So I did have a business call with John Alvarado. I am unfortunately, due to NDAs, not able to mention what that conversation was entirely, but they had expressed during one of the recent live streams about the indie dev program, and I took it seriously. So I reached out. I asked about a development kit, how that would work, even if it was still a possibility. And so realistically, I don't have a lot of assets that I can share or any inside scoops, but we are just outside of the, what's it called? There's a SDK package for like the controller app that they use for Amico Home, right? So we have to get access to that to make a port for it. Natively, if we're doing Android TV, you would need a gamepad controller. But what we're realistically looking at is Air Console. The port we make for Air Console will be the one that is also for Amico Home, because it's kind of the same thing, right? So Air Console, they specialize in Unity. VCS does, which is why I said this is going to be a two-parter. And they have an SDK app for the games. Did I cut out?
Yeah, a little bit. You cut out just a teeny bit.
So Air Console has a SDK tool so you can create controllers that are on your phone for each individual game. And my understanding is that it is kind of the same way with the Amico Home. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be porting the Air Console version over. That's in a perfect world. When that happens, if it still happens around launch time, I have no idea. It's kind of one of those hurry up and wait scenarios. Because again, we are publishing on Atari and PC first. So we're doing Windows, Linux, and Atari VCS. You'll be able to buy the game on itch.io, Game Jolt, maybe Steam. I actually will be trying to this week set up a Steam page for Ghost on the Run. And then from there, it's the other things. Then we're gonna start working on the Android version and the Android TV version.
Okay.
So until we reach that point, I don't have any inside scoop, so to speak.
So Amico is not demanding exclusivity anymore. That's good to hear.
Yeah. But I mean, it started as a joke at first. I'm gonna be real. But then I started taking it a little bit seriously, and I vaguely mentioned it in an interview with BCB, but I never expanded on it because it was just a conversation at that time. So I guess you guys just kind of got that first exclusive scoop on that.
There you
but
go. You heard Eco News here first on an Atari podcast. So
and to answer Vinny's question, why the VCS, why Atari? So I didn't grow up playing Atari. Like a lot of people who are on your channel. So I grew up a Nintendo kid. We were very poor. I had an NES and a Super Nintendo. And then when I got to, my teenage years, I found out that as a bias, Sega Genesis was superior as far as like the game libraries, and I had more fun with that than anything. But what I really, really wanted when I was a child was an Atari Jaguar. I saw the infomercials. I saw how awesome the games looked at the time, as my little brain perceived it at that time. And we didn't have a Nintendo 64, but I really, really wanted a Jaguar. We never could afford it. So when I got older, I spent, adult money on childish things, and I drove all the way to South Carolina and got my hands on my first Jaguar with the CD add-on. And then right after that, immediately I got my Lynx, followed by, in 2020, Yeah, because I got mine right before the official retail launched in 2020. I got mine in December of 2020, my VCS, and I fell in love with it. So it was just like the entire year of 2020 was Atari this, Atari that, Atari this, Atari that, and it just kept building up. And then once I got the VCS, it bridged all 3 generations that I missed out on, and it was just too perfect. And so to answer the other question as to why to publish on it, well, for one, the community definitely needed more games, and I also saw a ton of criminally underappreciated homebrew games within the 2600 community that wasn't getting the recognition that they deserve. For every, high quality 2600 game, there's like 5 others out there that no one's ever seen. There's so much in this library, so many. And I wasn't a huge fan of the 2600 growing up as a child. I played on one before. And I think in my adult years, I've grown to appreciate it much more with both the limitations and what people have done to get these things to work from a technical standpoint. Yeah, dude, I want to be able to provide a way for independent developers to have their work get the recognition that they deserve. And so at the beginning of this year, I started publishing on the VCS when I understood how emulating these games on the system worked. Natively, it supports DOS, 7800 using Pro System, and 2600. And right now, the most common game to get published is the 2600, which is why we've published so many. To be fair, also, Kiki 2600, we started publishing his games, about 3 months ago. We started publishing his games, and the main reason why we have so many 2600s is because half of what we have published is actually his.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Kiki and what do you have, like 2 or 3 developers I've seen that you work with. A lot of Kiki's games on there. How did you get in touch with Kiki and these developers specifically?
So it started with Zetatronics. Well, actually, no, I can't even say that. It started with Ghost on the Run, truthfully, because I got my dev unit in a little over a year and a half ago, and when we first started, and I was like, okay, well, this is the only game I have on my IP that I've been trying to create. What if I helped other people who haven't been able to get a hold of Atari? What if I helped them get published? I have the assets, the tools, the ability to push something. Why not? And so I started scrolling online, checking Atari Age, and I checked itch.io and all kinds of other pages, and I came across Torpedo Torpor, and dude, it was just like a switch went off. I was like, I got to reach out to this guy. So I ended up reaching out to the creator of Zetatronics, and almost instantly, very enthusiastically, he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's put a free game out on there. And it just all spiraled from there. The reception was just too good. And I was like, well, geez, we got momentum on this. Let's do another one. Let me contact someone else whose games I've tried. So I reached out to Jimmintronics, and then I reached out to Kiki. And I regret nothing. In fact, I will go ahead and also mention briefly, me and Kiki are working on a game together, and me and Jimmintronics are also now working on a game together as well. They will also, one of those games will be within the Ghost on the Run universe. I can't really say too much just yet. We're going to release it beside Ghost on the Run. It'll be 2 different games in the same universe. And it is a 2600 game. You know what? Hold on. I'll do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull something up. I'm going to pull something up on my computer, and I'm going to show my screen just because of the sheer enthusiasm. I really, really want you guys to see this. So I've already mentioned that we did Cyber Run for the Panic Playdate, which is a prequel to Ghost on the Run.
Right.
Now that means that the Ghost on the Run universe will span across 3 different game platforms or game systems. Where is that cover art? That's specifically what I'm looking for, is the cover art. There it is. Ta-da! All right, hopefully you guys can see this. There you go. Cyber Run, low tech. 2025.
Awesome. Yeah, that
So-
looks really, really good.
The characters from Ghost of the Run have been condensed from 32-bit down to glorious 8-bit. So
Wow. Very cool. Very excited for that. And thank you for all the exclusivity you're giving us here.
I'm just
much
happy to be here.
But yeah, very, very cool stuff. So what is there a story to that? Did they get sucked into an Atari 2600 or is it just a game to kind of help promote the main game?
Okay, I'll give you the full lore on everything. And I'll do this as quickly as I can because I don't know what runtime is for you guys. But so Cyberrun follows the story of Uncle Victor, who is a seasoned video game developer in 1982. And he, during the video game market crash, decides this is the perfect time to make a game. And one night while he's developing his video game, lightning strikes his house, bringing sentience to the program, and thus Dark Code is born. Dark Code sucks him into the video game, and he's forced to collect bits of data and to save his program. And eventually, it is revealed that Dark Code wants to bring sentience to himself, not just from a program, but to real life. He wants to get out. And so you have to beat that game and stop him from escaping the computer. Cyberrun Low Tech takes place in 1993, which is it's supposed to be because my character in the game, it's based off of real friends of mine, Ghost in the Run. So my character K.R.A.Z is playing an old video game that his uncle made, which is Cyberrun Low Tech for the 2600. And so basically it is a light gun game. You navigate with the joystick and you shoot as enemies run towards you and stuff, and you build up your score. And that's really it. There's no story in the game. It's only going to be in the manual. And basically he's just trying to fight Dark Code. Ghost on the Run, however, and it's clarified in the intro for the game, K.R.A.Z's character gets a mysterious email in the middle of the night from his uncle, which prompts him and his friends to go to the arcade where his uncle was supposed to be. And when they get there, they don't see Uncle Victor, but they see a new mysterious arcade cabinet, and so they go to play it, and they get sucked in, and that's where the whole expanded universe really kicks off. Cyberrun and Cyberrun Low Tech initially are small games compared to what Ghost in the Run is. Ghost in the Run is going to be pretty big, pretty decent. And depending on how reception goes, who knows? I will also say this because it's very early. I go to college for film and video production. I work part-time in the film industry. That also allows me to have some pretty decent connections with some pretty cool people. And so I already have some rough drafts. I already have some test art for a possible animated series.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're really all in. I love the enthusiasm on this project. I mean, that's how you get things to work and get things across the finish line is you have to be enthusiastic and believe in what you're doing. That's awesome, everything that you're putting behind this project.
I don't ever want to lose momentum for this. I mean, this started with some really great people in my life, so it has a lot of emotional weight on me just as much as it does as creating. I don't know. I've never created something this big before, so it's genuinely turned into much more of a. I don't even know how to put it into words, man. It's a blessing to be able to be doing all these things with all these amazing people. Like, it really is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm surprised Vinny isn't jumping in more because Vinny himself actually works on a lot of movies and film and video and wrestling and hat flipping and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm sure hopefully after this you guys can get connected a little more. So let me ask you this. So your film and video background, your college courses, is that what led you to meet JD Video Game Productions and work with them on the trailer?
Oh yes, dude. Yeah, the Super 16 series, man. So I originally started going to college for oh god, there I am. Okay. Yep. So
I had to show it. I have to show it. I love it so much.
It's all good. No, it's so I can't exactly remember. I want to say that it was me that reached out to JD originally about beta testing his game, and I had expressed to him that I had just started college for film and video. I mean, I'd already been doing film and stuff before on an indie level, and I wasn't at that time working professionally in the industry. And I had expressed I wanted to do more YouTube content, and I wanted to be able to create more original stuff. And within like 15 minutes, man, we workshopped a commercial for Superstar Shooter 16, and it just so happened to be the weekend that we filmed the commercial, we were already working on another production called Agent Dax. And so at the end of the shoot day, I was like, hey, look, I just need 3 people to stay behind and film a video with me. Y'all guys want to do this? And it was Scooby Rogers, LaRon Rose, and Paul Hurley and myself. And we put together this trailer for Super Star Shooter 16, which then led to the commercial for Super 3D Maze 16 as well. Tramiel is amazing, by the way, and he's got so many good plans for these games, like with some updates. I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything, so I won't. But he's got a lot of stuff planned, and I'm super happy for him. Oh, hey, that's Studio and Contraption just showed up.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What's up, Flip?
Yep, Uncle Flip is awesome. We love him here on the channel, and absolutely, we love Tramiel too. He'll be on the channel here in I think a week or two, actually. So yeah, very cool stuff. And I love bringing up the trailer whenever I can. I love those trailers. But God, how old are those trailers? Because you look so much young. It looks like it's already been a few years.
It's at least been a year for sure. So I mean, I look a little rough because I've been going through it today. Need to shave.
No.
Like I'm going through puberty. You know, the works.
Right.
I'm just trying to find a better way to stand up my phone here.
It happens. We all go through it. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of the games that you published today on the VCS, and I have a few new favorites. There's so many games to play in so little time, especially when you're trying to cover a whole company and all their subsidiaries or whatever you want to say. But I noticed in Meow here, this is a 0-page homebrew game. Yeah. You know, Vinny has a vendetta with those guys. So
is that good or bad?
Vinny doesn't like cats, and he doesn't like
Canadians.
Canadians, yeah. So
then he'll love you.
Yeah. But no, I seen that game. Obviously, that's a almost like a Kaboom style game that was actually quite a bit of fun. I'm sure my classic controller wasn't charged at the time, but I'm sure it's a lot of fun with the spinner controller.
James O'Brien is a good friend of Kiki 2600, and that was a collaborative thing for them. And that's actually Max the cat that you're playing as.
Well, they see, and Benny knows the lore, so he knew that already. Yeah, that was it. Vinny's awfully quiet today. I think it's because he's in a car just getting over a wedding, which I'm sure.
Well, somebody said I sound like a robot, and I hate listening to podcasts where somebody's like breaking up. Am I better now?
Well, we already broke up, Vinny, so you don't have to worry about that.
You fire me every fucking 6 months
for
this podcast. But
I mean, no homo.
You know what, Vinny? Get out of here. All right. So, no, I'm kidding. But no, a lot of great games here, and a lot of 2600 love. But then there is sort of a singular outlier right now. It sounds like you're kind of gonna publish whatever you can.
Yes.
Yes. But now, for right now, last stop. How did that come about? How did you get involved with that? How did the I guess the arrival on the VCS work out?
Well, there's kind of a bit of a origin story to that first, because I mean, again, most of the games we publish are 2600 titles, and that does kind of saturate like our publication library. And again, I'm only a publisher. I didn't develop any of these games. I don't own the IP to any of these games. You know, they have full control. Like if something goes wrong or they don't like how Atari is, they have the right to pull it. You know, just to be transparent here. But last stop, I remember reaching out to Drew several months before I published my first game because he was trying to get it on the VCS, and he had at one point had spoken with somebody at Atari, but then I don't remember if that was the main guy or if it was someone else because they were working through like employee changes at the time, and he never was heard back from on the game. And there's a lot of misconception about Unreal Engine running on the VCS. To clarify, just like Unity, the VCS's APU is fairly weak, so it doesn't do very well with things like bloom and advanced lighting. And so what it does is it kicks that fan on like crazy, and it just overheats the VCS. So that's one of the main reasons why Atari has not really made sure, but has tried to like strive away from Unreal Engine development. There's a big update to the game Last Stop that is coming, by the way. We're just trying to figure out why it's not working on the dev unit. We can get it. Basically, what's happening is once we get to 99% on the upload, it doesn't finish. So there's something wrong on our end that we're missing. If we can get that test build up and make sure everything's squared away, we'll be publishing it almost immediately. So it's just a matter of time. And that update there were some wall glitches. I think some people said they had issues with ambience and not really knowing where to go, so we were fixing a few of those things. This game was published on other platforms before in the past when Drew was just learning how to develop. And so the VCS version is the definitive way to play the game with added content, better controls, better optimizations, and basically the final version for the VCS will become the final version for other platforms in the future. It'll be one massive upload across platforms, or update, excuse me. Last Stop, we were kind of bold with it because the caption is they said it couldn't be done, but we knew better. And I threw that in there last minute because it's like, I want people to know, like, this is serious. Like, we managed to get Unreal Engine to work really with no problem. And ultimately what we figured out is when using Unreal Engine to develop for the VCS, you have to consider large open spaces, lighting, and you also have to consider how many faces and cells there are in your 3D models that you're using, whether that be items, characters, cameras, etc. So smaller spaces are generally better. So a walking simulator like this makes sense. If I was to do like an open world game, like, I don't know, Horizon in Unreal, it might honestly not work on the VCS. Zombie.
Yeah, huge ass, long time viewer of the show just said, looks like Zombie U from the Wii U days. Yeah, that what you're saying is kind of incredible. So you're saying for a long time, those of us, I guess, not in the know especially, were told that games developed under certain engines could not work on the VCS, and that's why we didn't get games like Uncle Flip said here, Fatal Run 2089 and stuff. So
right.
What you're saying is potentially it can be done.
Yes, and I do want to touch base on Fatal Run because I think it's important. So ultimately, it really does come down to whether the developer wants to do the extra work or not. And that's with any platform, to be fair. But with the VCS, it's more common than not. Fatal Run 2089 looks amazing. I'm excited for it. I want to play it so bad. And I mean, I would love to see it on my VCS. I would love to see it on everyone's VCS. I don't work for Atari, so I can't speak on it, but just based off of porting this game to the VCS kind of helps me have a better understanding. Based off of the hardware specifications that are mentioned on the game's profile as well, I don't think Fatal Run 2089 would be practical for the VCS. There's a lot of bloom and a lot of lighting effects. It's very expansive. It's got a bunch of rapid acceleration. I mean, things that the VCS honestly wouldn't be able to keep up with. But if they downscaled it, if for people who don't understand development, like if we talked about it like in a television scale, 480p, 720, 1080, let's say this release is the 4K version. If they knocked it back to 720, it might work. If that makes sense, But it really comes down to how badly does the developer really want to publish on the hardware. I mean, the VCS is niche. It is what it is. And my understanding is they're not manufacturing any more of these units. So once the stock is liquidated, that's it. Yep. I can easily see, just based off of conversations I've had with the employees in the past and based off of my personal experience with the device, I can easily see the operating system or the system itself, the ecosystem, being supported well into 2028. What they do with that, though, whether that be new hardware or that be, I don't know, an operating system client like Steam or whatever direction they take, I mean, I don't think they're going to kill it, truthfully. But I think in order for the VCS to thrive, the CEO of the company has to also believe in it too. It's kind of like how I believe in Ghost in the Run. Even if it flops on VCS, I know it's going to be better in other places. You know what I mean? But at the same time, again, that it comes down to whether they believe in putting it there, and the same way with the company supporting that product.
Well, and that's a good point too. I think it's been pretty well known. I don't think Wade Rosen has ever come out and said it, but I think it's understood that the VCS is not his baby. It's not what he envisioned for the company. And I think it's kind of been supported out of obligation, and that much, I mean, is much appreciated, and it has been supported, but I don't think it's...
There we go. That's what I was seeing.
But I don't think it's had the full backing of Atari at any point at least since Wade took over. But he has done a lot of other incredible things. So again, it's just the vision that he has for Atari. But like you said, it'd be awesome, to know that it could be around for another 3, 4, or 5 years, and that there are people like you and several other devs that are willing to support it and program on it. Would still be really cool, because there is definitely a lot of life there and a large thriving community that wants to see more games and wants to get their money's worth, to be honest.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're trying to get more than just 2,600 games on the platform. So I'll name a couple things real quick. So Ghost in the Run is built in Unity, and that's a question to K.R.A.Z Game Tank in the past. What are your favorite games on this console?
You can keep you can keep going on your current thought if you want. We can get to that.
Yeah, I'll address Game Tank here soon. So the VCS, we want to be able to bring more than just 2,600 games. I have tried, keyword tried, to get a couple 7,800 games up on there. There's not too many of them. One of the biggest issues we've ran into is some people are still kind of skeptical about trying to publish their ROMs on the VCS. Piracy is a thing; it's unavoidable. But I mean, for any platform, I'm not saying VCS specifically. But a lot of homebrew developers are a little iffy about just handing out free ROMs. That makes sense. I understand. I communicated with the creator of Goblin Sword and the creator of Kelly Kangaroo on and off for a couple months before we actually got something up there. So it's really just a matter of explaining hey, this is what's happening, being transparent with those people who make these games and making sure they get paid on time, which, is another thing. And it's, I got to be able to give them that space of comfortability and that full control that way they know hey, I don't have any control on what happens on your product, as long as, that's not how I want to say that. I think you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is I have to be able to give them the same energy that they expect me to give them, so that way I can do right by them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, getting other games outside of homebrews and ROMs, it's been very far and in between. I've contacted a variety of Unity developers and Unreal developers as well. Drew, he has a game called Power Core, which is kind of like a Tron-esque, Tron meets Mega Man type thing. It's even got a Super Smash Bros. Arena section in it, like a little mini game, so you can do co-op with friends. And we're trying to get that up and running. And there's also a sequel to Last Stop that we're also trying to finish getting, ready to go as well. Then also there's Ghost on the Run, which is built in Unity. There was a time where we were going to help eSolutions publish a solitaire game, and I think Mahjong, but he wanted to go alone, but Atari never got it up with him, and he doesn't want to go through a publisher. He wants to be able to do that on his own. So Godspeed to him. Still a great guy, fantastic publisher. But it's been hard to get more than just homebrew games, to be honest with you. The developers have to be able to know, especially if they do this full time, to make money, They have to be able to know that there's a reasonable profit in it for their work.
Right.
I think Treefall Studios, they recently kind of came into the headlines. They had like a game or something that they were trying to publish. I don't know the full story. And they do it full time. And for them, they said in a video that it wasn't practical because of how niche the platform was. Because they're on PlayStation, they're on Nintendo, they're on PC, Steam. So just as a general example, because again, I don't know the full story with that.
Right. Gotcha. And again, for anybody just tuning in, our guest here is Casdan with K.R.A.Z Productions, famed Atari VCS developer, very prolific on the console. Of course, we have my co-host here, Vinny Vineyard, who gives us weather and traffic on the fives. Vinny, how's the traffic out there?
Stay off I-96. There's a freaking motorcycle flipped on its head. There's a bunch of asses and pigs. They're running across the road.
Vinny, we talked about the language.
Well, it looks like the end of the world over here. There's blood in the rivers, and there's frogs and flies and praising Jesus.
All right. Well, that's great. Casdan.
Vinny, I've told you this before, man. You're only supposed to drink at the red lights, okay? No drinking and driving.
Yeah, Arnie Pie in the sky, exactly.
Hey, all right. So, can you hear me better than you had before?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you don't sound like a robot anymore. So,
well, I hate robots, and we'll get into that here in a minute. So, I want to ask you a question, my man. So, I'm
about 6 inches. Nuts.
I have ran the largest Atari 7800 website for over 20 years, back when people gave a shit about websites.
Okay.
Got about 15 Atari 7800 world records. I'm a big Atarian, always have been, probably always will be.
Okay.
I, for some reason, have never purchased one of your games, and I'm sorry about that. I love the VCS. I know it's weird and quirky and all this. So I want you to do me a favor. Pitch the one I should buy. Tell me why I should buy it, and which one is the one that's going to be like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing.
Okay. Let's see here. So I'm stuck between. I'm actually no. God, that's hard. I'm stuck between 4 of the games we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this. I'm gonna say I'm a fan of Torpedo Torpor. I'm a fan of Jutland Skies. Those 2 games are my most downloaded so far. But I'm also a fan of Nite Bear, and I'm a huge fan of Goblin Sword. So before I pitch or sell a product to you, I think what I need to know from you is, what do you hope to get out of a 2600 game?
Orgasms.
Orgasms. So you're looking for stimulation. You're looking for adventure, right?
This one right here. No.
Is that what I'm hearing, Vinny?
Yeah, you're right. Stimulation. That's a good way to put this. Guy's, I'm telling you, now I've been quiet this podcast, John.
Yeah, it's been nice.
It's been one of the better podcasts too. I'm impressed with us when I'm not on it. But this guy is eloquent. I thought he was going to come on here. He was like, he'd say, hold on a second. You'd hear him like snorting cocaine off the countertop. This guy's from North Carolina. We have no idea what in the world he's doing with the meth down there. And I'm sure there may be an explosion of his neighbor. But this guy's a class act. Mm-hmm. He's thoughtful. He's smart. He's going to college. He's in the film school. Let me ask you this real quick, too. So you said your favorite one is what? Okay, for stimulation, answer that question first.
I specifically asked if you were looking for stimulation or adventure. You said orgasmic. I mean, you're looking for an experience. Personally, I think the one that would be up your alley would be Goblin Sword, because it is a first-person dungeon crawler for the 2600, which is not common for the 2600 for one. So you're not just getting quality, right? You're getting a unique experience. You're getting an adventure that's 4 levels deep. You're having to navigate a bunch of mazes, fighting a bunch of enemies, keeping track of stats, and also fighting a mighty goblin. So, I mean, that's pretty ambitious for a 2600 title, if you ask me. I mean, we got spiders, we got bats, we got demons, we got skeletons, we got goblins, we got swords, we got dungeons. We also are lacking oxygen. We got all of it. You want adventure, you want stimulation, you want orgasms. The relief you'll feel when you finally get over that shitstorm of catacombs will definitely bring you to climax.
John, this guy's great. Now, I told you he didn't want you on the show. I was like, he was like, this guy's
You're
probably
such a
brain
liar.
dead. He's a goofball. So let this kid have a chance. You're very eloquent. You're very lucid. You're very fluid with your thoughts.
Don't trust Vinny, Kaz. He's such a liar.
I thought this guy was going to be a sport. You're over there, you've got your own addictions and stuff. I tried to get you off the pipe. I said, let's call this kid and see what he's got going down there in North Carolina. And you said it was just a bunch of moonshine and meth. And I said, no, man, let's give this guy a shot. Now that I'll tell you,
he's kind of right.
I'm going to buy that tonight if I can get the Atari VCS store to actually work, which hopefully we can. You have my word. When you see the +1 of that being downloaded tonight, it's going to be me on the mothership playing in my underwear.
Good now, old Funkmaster V.
Yep.
You're into film, right?
Absolutely. Mostly OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of making 7 horror comedies based on the Great Smoky Mountains. I live in the Pigeon Forge area over here. I'm not from here originally, but we've got I'm making the 4th and 5th movie as we speak, which I'm stupid excited about these films. But
okay.
It's interesting to see that you have time, because I'm a professional wrestler, I'm a musician, but and I've owned my own business, but going to college, film, editing, sound production, sound design, location scouting, the logistics of actually getting people to show up and film something, it's a nightmare. It's amazing to me that you have time to pour into video games.
So, well, I mean, to be fair, it's a lot easier to make a video game nowadays than it is to make a movie, right? To make a video game, you need one person. To make a movie, you need a whole crew,
Yeah.
I mean, and you can easily pick up a cell phone and start making a movie with your phone. Like, I mean, you've heard that pitch a million times in the industry. But, if you want something that's quality, something that's going to take the time, the effort, the passion, the love to make, you need a team. You can't do this industry alone. That's just a fact, and I learned the hard way with, I guess this is a good time for me to talk about this. So about 4 years ago, when I first started college, it was about a year into my first degree, I did a 5-minute short video for acting for the camera class. We were supposed to make a 5-minute horror short. So I made this film about a guy and a girl just kind of like sleuthing through an abandoned building, and it has zombies. And that 5-minute short got a decent amount of attention. And so we decided we're going to make our very first film pilot. This is when I didn't really know jack squat about, movie production. And we did very, very well within, with this pilot, because nobody came out and got paid. Everybody came out and did it for free. And it's 26 minutes long. It's two 13-minute episodes compact into a single 26-minute episode. And, it got a decent amount of reception. So we finally started trying to raise money to make a series. And therein started the mistakes. So Agent Dax was supposed to be about a character named Christopher Dax, who was a janitor for a company that specialized in biochemical weapons. And they caused the zombie apocalypse. Very generic, right? But he's tasked with the simple role of protecting one girl who is immune to the virus, trying to get her from one point to the other so they can manufacture a cure based off of her blood. We started production. We managed to raise enough money to make a total of 6 episodes. And by episode 5, things started going to shit. We lost one of our main actors. We had to recast. We had people show up late on set. Organizing was a nightmare. We lost footage on one of the.
Why did you lose the actor? I'm just curious for my own personal amusement and horror. Why did you lose the actor?
So it wasn't a matter of, they didn't want to do the role or whatever. It was a matter of it was hard to schedule this person, right? So, you know, we would plan in advance. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say what that character was because we went through 3 different revisions. So, but it was really hard to schedule this person out. And sometimes it would be 3 months out, you know, and you're fighting against God at that point. The trees are changing. The seasons are different, right? The sun's in a different place. And then, you know, it got to the point like, you know, yeah, you know, you got me for the whole day. And then we start filming. I got to be gone by 1. Then why did you tell me the whole day? You know, we've wrapped it around this whole point. Like we don't have to rush, da 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 da. So we unfortunately had to scrap the guy and reshoot scenes. And it sucked. And it was what it was. Luckily it ended on good terms. We're still friends, you know, still coworkers, all that stuff. But it is what it is. You know, in this industry, life happens. You know, you find workarounds. And when nobody's getting paid, the most you can do is be understanding, right? So it's just
the secret that I have with my group is I'm old. I'm much older than you, so I've amassed all of these
really, I couldn't
human
tell.
beings. You're a sweetheart. I've amassed all these human beings that want to participate, and I'm talking about drag queens and pro wrestlers and burlesque dancers and theater actresses and people in film and so we, you know, people who are into horror effects or whatever. So it's people that want to be there, and when you're younger, you don't know really what you want to do, and some people can kind of lose their verve.
Right.
But I'm totally there with you with the frustration. And so what I do is I try to be a ringmaster when I'm the director and the producer and the main actor and the writer and all that stuff. Try to create a party environment that people want to have fun and be there, because to be honest, acting is probably the most boring thing in the world. And if you're not,
I don't know if I would agree with that, but continue. I apologize.
I've been a dead body on a TV show once. That was the worst thing in the world. I did have cute girls trying to fan me and keep me cool in the sunlight, but it was awful. But it's pretty boring. It can be pretty boring. And but anyway, yeah, man, it's tough. I used to be an asshole. I'm still am. John's put me through a program where I'm trying to I'm a 12-step program. I'm on step 2. But like, when I used to watch movies, I'd just be like, this movie sucks. These people are terrible. But now, anytime there's a completed movie, especially when it's not Hollywood and everybody did it for free, I got to take my hat off to those people, because it is completing a movie is I think it would be easier to do a triathlon. I don't know if you've ever seen those triathlon, Johns, where you put the wife is on the person's back with her butt up. Yeah. I think completing a movie is harder than doing a triathlon with your wife's butt on your shoulders.
Hey, listen, sometimes when you're doing an Eiffel Tower, man, you just got to high five the other guy and say, nice, dude, nice.
Have you seen those, John? Do they do those in Toledo? They have the wife Olympics where you got to carry your wife.
Are we talking about a Bonnie Blue special, or like I'm a little confused?
Well,
the girls ass, they got, you run, you buy.
All right, so back to the
okay, all right.
Back to what we're talking about here before we get
Agent Dax is ultimately going to be a video game, is what I'm trying to get at. Is what I was going at. So much like he was saying, sometimes it's better to just be the asshole and not the whole ass, if that makes sense. And finding a bunch of crew to have the same wants as you do for a production is difficult. So the footage that we have for Dax is being repurposed for a video game, where basically you'll play as the character Mason, and this is very early, so we don't have a prototype to showcase to anybody, but Mason Statics is the guy's name, and he is on this island, and he's finding computer hard drives or USBs, a media collection, and it plays FMV footage from Dax to kind of figure out what happened on the island. In fact, we just did a shoot on the 9th where I had to literally physically throw a guy over my shoulders and get speared by a football player.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
It's just like the wife Olympics.
Yeah,
it's like the wife triathlon.
Yeah.
I will have to show you guys the video. It is so sick. So I discovered something about physics. Lifting somebody up over your body is a lot easier than you think. If they're charging at you, it's literally just momentum. Lift at the knees and throw. It's super easy. We did it 13 times. Had no idea.
Benny knows all about that from his hat flipping days.
Well, being a pro wrestler, you learn that all that stuff is the guy that's being thrown or lifted up or whatever. He's helping and doing as much as the guy that's lifting him up, if not sometimes more.
Definitely have to let him be in control.
It is a circus act, really, pro wrestling. And one of my secret to people that are making, like people who are trying to make movies, is get pro wrestlers. They're used to not being paid. They're used to saying everything in one line. They're good ad-libbers. They get hurt, they don't care, and they can fight. They can do stunts. And they'll show up because pro wrestlers like being appreciated, and they like to perform. And so we use a lot of those guys and girls.
I'll say, so one of the guys from Ghost in the Run, his name is excuse me, Serge Yusakov. Sorry. Well, it's Sergey, but we call him Serge. And he just started his training to become a pro wrestler. We also have three martial artists. Oops. Murray Haithcock, who runs a dojo out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Travis Lyncham and Ty Portis, who are also trained martial artists, both in traditional karate and jujitsu. And then we also have another wrestler. His name is James Primo. He's 6'4" and he's big. And so those are our stunt guys. And it's been super fun working with them and kind of like figuring out like, how somebody of my, I'm 5'9", but I identify as 6'4", ladies, if you're watching. But no, it's figuring out like how somebody of my size and stature can compete against somebody who is like, significantly bigger or stronger or more muscular than I am in a production like this has been interesting because you definitely find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and you also learn very quickly what you can handle. So I've been doing my own stunts for a while on a lot of independent stuff, and some projects I'm just kind of embarrassed I'll never show anybody. But then there are some pretty cool ones where I've done some stuff where it's like, oh, wow, I did that. And it's like, nice, So I get the whole appreciation thing for sure.
I want to bring something back real quick. It was a question I said we would get to.
Oh, yes.
So ECDHE asked specifically to you, K.R.A.Z. You mentioned the Game Tank in the past. What are your favorite games on this console?
So unfortunately, my moment with Game Tank was very limited. And so I don't know some of the games by name, but there is, I think I'm going to their website right now. There is a dungeon crawler on here. And you can also play the games on their website for free if you don't want to buy the console. But there's there's a platformer and a dungeon crawler. So you have a Cursed Fiend, which is very similar to Kings of Edom for the Atari Jaguar. And then you have Cubicle Knight, which is just, a traditional platforming game. So for those who don't know what Game Tank is an open source, build it yourself video game console. Everything, the software, the SDK, the 3D prints, the hardware, everything is offered online for free, right? Like completely for free. You don't have to have the hardware to enjoy the games or to understand how it works. And one of the best parts is if you're already versed in 2600, 7800, 52, NES, original, Master Drive, you already know the importance of 6502 assembly, or you understand how to use BASIC, right? 8-bit Studio. So you can develop using 6502 for Game Tank. Well, I'm pointing as if you guys can see my screen, and you can make some high quality games for this platform, and you can print off your own cartridges for the system. And it's got a pretty decent cult following for sure. So if you have a chance, whenever you can, if you're watching and you're interested in this, gametank.zone/games, you can go and just try the games out for free and see if you actually like it. But if I have to vote on anything, it's definitely got to be a Cursed Fiend or Cubicle Knight. Those were two of the first graphically impressive games for the platform, and they still hold up. Bubsy 4D. Oh,
Very
10 out of
interesting.
10? Yeah.
Have you? Is it out yet? Is
Uh,
Bubsy 4D
I don't know. Let's find
Big-
out.
channel of yours? I guess being wants to know some Atari stuff, which Bubsy 4D is now, or Bubsy is now an Atari property. So I guess we can all give our thoughts on it. I don't really have any thoughts. I'm not a huge Bubsy guy. I was not that excited when Atari acquired Bubsy.
So Bubsy had a demo shown at Gamescom this
I
weekend.
seen the trailer. Yeah, I saw a trailer where he kind of had flashbacks to his old games, and
I mean, I hope it comes out on the VCS, but I know it's not out yet. And it's supposed to come out sometime this year. I do know why. I don't want to say I know why. I have an idea of why they decided to buy the rights to Bubsy. There has been a huge uptick over the past year or so in memes for Bubsy within the Atari community. Don't know why. I don't know where it started. We had a lot of people who were fans of it, constantly showing off their collection. People asked for it when they did the Atari 50 because you had Bubsy on the Jaguar, which is over here in the corner.
yeah.
So there's a huge uptick or a huge call for that, and I think Atari took it seriously. So I mean, it kind of shows that like the more people ask, the more the company will listen.
Well, and there you go. So a meme basically influenced Atari to do something. So imagine what we could do if we actually asked them for something we want.
Well, my review on my channel of the VCS got a lot of hits, which most of my shit does not. But you don't have to comment. You could just let that slide.
No.
Just don't comment. Just let it slide.
Okay.
No, you don't agree. Just let it slide.
Vinny, no, you get a lot of views.
Now you don't have to lie, because they go to the channel and they go, this guy's got 300 views, but this for like the VCS review I did, tons of views. And at the end of it, I said they need to start emulating 7826 homebrews on the VCS store, and almost immediately out of the blue they started to do that. So I do think, even if it wasn't me that put that out in the ether, which I've never heard anybody say that before, I do think Atari does listen. I think that's really cool and encouraging.
Yes, Ramey, I do, as a matter of fact. Sorry.
Yeah.
But also, Atari, cut out with the camp shit every summer. Nobody's going to wear that stuff. We're old men now. Like the camp T-shirts and the fanny packs and the binoculars and stuff. Cut it out.
So, my thoughts on the Bubsy 4D thing, I think it's been a long time coming. That people have tried to independently reboot Bubsy just because, people like to rag on it. But I don't think there's been a company who's actually intentionally taken it seriously to make a decent Bubsy game. I think this might be that case where it's like, finally, Bubsy is going to be good. So
do we want Bubsy to be good?
I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I may not have beaten the original Bubsy games because of how bad they are, but I had a lot of fun playing them. I never understood the negative hype. I mean, as a mascot, like, he's kind of weird. I had somebody want me to review a Bubsy. I forget which Bubsy game it was. They wanted me to review. I think it was the Jaguar version, and I had a great idea for it, but I didn't have the money to make the costume. I was going to do a fursona suit of Bubsy and just have this whole gag where he's just stalking me the entire time of the video.
Wow!
But I found out that fursuits actually cost like $1,500 for a YouTube video. I can't do it.
You can get so many uses out of that, though. I mean, privately, publicly.
Yeah,
I've got a video on my channel that goes into the 3 levels of furry. I unfortunately
the Kasumi Ninja headband stays on in the bedroom, okay? Just so you know.
I unfortunately have a furry in my life, and I also know a heroin addict, and I don't know what relationship is more disappointing. But
welcome to the podcast, Kaz.
What a segue. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna grab a charger. Keep going.
Yeah, no, go ahead. We'll cover you. So
There's
As
3
I-
levels of furries. There's the furry
Okay.
without a fursuit who can't afford it.
Can't afford it, but
First
wants
one.
one.
So, but he's a furry in every other aspect.
Okay, so loves furries, just can't. So if he could afford it, he would get it.
He would go to level 2, which is the furry. The furry is
Okay.
the one that goes around and tries to grab your butt at comic book conventions. And
Let me write
if you
this
follow
down.
one long enough, you'll see them. They'll go to like a corner and they'll take their helmet off or their hat or their head, and it just is some fat Asian kid or a black kid just sucking wind, going covered in sweat. So that's level 2.
Does it
Level
always have
3
to be Asian or African
No, it could be
American?
anything. It's always somebody you don't expect though. Like you see a pink, you see a pink rabbit girl, and it's some black kid that looks like he could play basketball, and you're like, it just always freaks me out.
Okay.
And then the 3rd level is the evil Murr, and the Murr is like some sort of Gargamel twisted thing where he got a furry and he subjected it to porno and those are the ones that actually use Murr holes in the costumes to actually have sex with one another. And the furries hate the Murrs, and the Murrs don't care about anybody else except getting down. Now, if you're a number 1, you're a furry without a fursuit, and you're looking to get a secondhand fursuit.
I'm sorry, Raimi.
Our guest is right. They're expensive. You got to check for Murr holes and make sure they're bleached, because we don't know if you get a fursuit with the Murr holes in them, it's a Murr suit, and those are not hygienic.
Vinny, I'm about to break your heart, man. If you have never gone down this rabbit hole, no pun intended, you need to find the time to Google Shadman. Okay. By the way, did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you how Sonic the Hedgehog actually inflated the market once back in the 90s? Hear me out, right? Like, I mean, obviously Sonic was very popular, right? Okay, it was very popular, but there was such a gross sale on cartridges for Sonic that it became almost difficult for Sega Genesis to produce other cartridges. So that's why prices increased dramatically on resale. If you don't believe me, when you have time, go Google Sonic inflation.
Let me see here.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
Well, this podcast is taking a dark turn. Let me tell you, I tried. This is what happens when you got Vinny in a car, and
you will get banned so quickly if you Google that online.
Well, I wasn't going to share my screen. I mean, I can. Let me.
Don't do it. You got children at home and virgin dogs.
My God.
You got basement slaves to feed, you know? Yeah.
Right. Well, I honestly don't know where to take this.
Let's go back to the VCS.
There you go. Yeah, let's do that. Oh my goodness. Well, again, if you're just joining us, I'm sorry. Our guest is Casdan. Of course, we got Vinny down there. Please hit the like button if you're on my channel, on Vinny's channel. Greatly appreciated. So, Kaz, I guess I only really had a couple more questions for you here. And I think you already answered the one. I was wondering what the vetting process was, or how you decided, who you would reach out to publish games. But it sounds like you kind of had some games in mind. Have you found it easier once you got over the hump of publishing your first game on the VCS? Was it easier to reach out to people and have them accept your offer, or did it not really affect?
Being able to have, I guess units or IPs to show for, like, yeah, we helped this publisher get published and so on and so forth. It's definitely made it easier. But just to kind of expand off of the question a little bit more, the types of developers we're really looking forward to or looking for are ones who are still in the middle of development, right? So, because when you're still trying to figure out like what this game is going to be, that's usually when you find the platforms they're going to be on, right? And one of the cool things about the VCS is if you go specifically to these communities that like develop in Unity, which is I'm in a dozen of them, it's very easy to port your games over to VCS because you realistically just have to create a Linux PC package. You follow just some basic rules for the VCS development tool, and within like 3, 4, 5 clicks, you got a build that works on the VCS. And then, of course, optimization happens after that. The first step is getting it to launch on the hardware. You can do that. You can do just about anything.
I had another question on here. Not really a question. Maybe it was a comment. But we had discussed a little bit about the audience on the VCS and how niche it is. Have the sales been good on the VCS? Has it been?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not like, they're going to pay my mortgage great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
So it's important to note that for every unit that I sell, I only receive a 20% commission. So let's say, for example, we wanted to publish a game for $5 on the VCS. Oh, Goblin Sword. That one's $5.35.
Yep.
So right out the gate, Atari is going to take their 20% of commission of all sales. Like gross sales, they take 20%.
Okay.
Which is actually a little bit cheaper than some other platforms that take 30, which is nuts.
Oh,
like,
really?
Air Console, you get 70% return. Just to give you an example.
Wow.
So Atari takes 20. If it's an exclusive title or a timed exclusive, they take 12%. Pretty decent. So if I was to sell a game for $5, they're taking 20%. That means they take $1. So that's $4. I take 20% of the $4, and then my client gets, what remains, which is usually around $3.25, $3.35 per unit sold. And that's not a lot of money for, say, a 2600 game. So you've got to be wanting to publish your game on there. And if you don't want to go through a publisher, then you have to find a way to get on the platform yourself and convince them that, hey, this game will be good for the platform, because they are looking for very specific games. I've had one game denied so far, nothing crazy, but
wow.
Yeah, they definitely do want to make sure that they aren't just putting absolute trash on the platform. They want to make sure that they're not going for like obsessively gory and nudity inclined or whatever.
Can you say why it was declined? Just out of curiosity.
Because so it was another version of Sakuban. The fear was that it would be perceived as shovelware. That game where you push boxes and stuff to solve the puzzle. So the fear was that it would be shovelware, and so the game got denied. It was called Push the Box. It was the sister game to Mayzam, which Mayzam expands off of that game genre a little bit, which is why they're like, hey, you got these two games. They're basically the same thing. Let's do the other one because it's different enough. And that way it's not competing with Puzzle Door, for example. They didn't say that, but I'm just saying that as a general thing. Right? So it doesn't feel like shovelware.
That's good that they care enough to not allow maybe the same game to be on there twice, or a bunch of, Google Store shovelware and stuff. So very cool. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just curious.
No, you're good. I'm kind of dropping a lot of stuff here that I don't think a lot of people talk clearly about on the VCS. You see, the thing is, I'm still limited on what I can say about it behind the scenes because I do have a couple NDAs that I've signed. So I'm not able to speak freely.
Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I am in no way an employee of Atari. I don't ever want anybody to think that I am. I would love it if Atari hired me. I've said it in plenty of other videos. If they hired me on for gaming and marketing, 100%, I would take that job. I'd drop everything I got going on. I'd even leave college for a career with Atari. I would. I'm just saying.
Guess what? They were going to hire me and John as the new Atari podcast, and then John fired me.
You know what?
No,
Benny?
I thought they were going to have you wearing the Bubsy costume at Gamescom.
Only there's a mer hole in the costume.
Mer hole and bike inflator. Anyway, I have a question here. ECDHE, who I work with on the channel here, he just wants to play devil advocate. He's curious, if you develop a game using Unity, why bother with the VCS when you can publish it on Windows, Steam, and reach a much larger audience?
Well, I mean, first off, the question to ask to your question is why not? So the VCS, I mean, it's just like any other platform, right? No, okay, I didn't mean for that to sound snooty.
No,
I apologize.
I apologize.
Girl.
let me just say, no. So I mean, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, like every community is starved for games, right? Whether it's the VCS, whether it's Playdate, whether it's the homebrew community, whether it's Nintendo, you know, like at the end of the day, people want games, and if VCS makes it easier for me to not hop through hoops, which they do, why not? You know, that's anywhere from a guaranteed 50 to 300 people that are downloading the game, giving me honest feedback on how to make it better. And me in the studio, we're both getting paid along the way, you know? So it's, I mean, and for us, that's just $3 a unit. You spend $3 on a gallon of gas every morning on the way to work.
Yep.
You know, like it's kind of one of those things. Let's see.
I think Uncle Flip makes a good point too that you just hit on. You know, it's worth it for the visibility. You create a fan base. Yeah, maybe it's only 300 people, but that's 300 people that might follow K.R.A.Z Productions and buy everything and share it with their friends. And
to expand on that a little bit as well, I mean, I'll be honest, out of all the video game communities that I've been a part of, Playdate and VCS have been the most positively responsive. They give the fans of the system give genuine feedback because they want their game to be good too. They don't want to blow $10, $12 on a game that's complete dog water. You know, they want a game that they feel like they can have an attachment to. And so we've had community feedbacks from a lot of things. Like Flip and I collectively, we've tested a handful of games, and we've also had some people who have entered into some of the contests that we've done for some of the key 2600 games. That's Driller Joe and VCS Onyx user, who actually won the first and second place in one of the contests. They've helped give feedback. We have other community members like Sherivan and BCB and Ronan and Damon and VCS Frank, and you know, all these names that I'm pulling out of the top of my head, Headroom and M. Scottson and so on and so forth. You know, they are all giving their feedback. It's like, hey, I found this bug, or I really love this part, but could, you know, what if this, da 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 da. Like that type of response from fans, that means I don't have to pay somebody to beta test my game. They're basically doing that for me, for lack of better definition. And I get the satisfaction of making sure that at the end of the day, when that update is pushed, that customer's satisfied. And that's a really big thing, because I'm getting that one-on-one. I'm not getting it from a comment section in the middle of, you know, some Steam page. So
John stole the second.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you know who Frank VCS is?
Is it you?
It's me. No. If you look on the top 10 of all the recharge games, he's on every MF in one of those, man.
Yeah.
That MFer is a gangster when it comes to those recharge games, man.
Him, Driller, and VCS.
Driller Joe. I see Driller Joe on every list as well. So yeah,
I'm on there too quite a bit, man. But I can't get. I'm in the top 10 in about 5 of those, man. But some of those, man, I just don't even know how they score those many points on some of them games.
I think I'm in second place for Savage Halloween, and that's the best I could do.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
I think
a good
so.
one. I need to play that this year for Halloween. I keep forgetting about that game.
Well, hopefully you'll be playing Ghost on the Run. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. As soon as you put that out, I'd love to check it out for the channel. I'll definitely pick it up. Vinny will grab it 6 months later, as he is.
Oh, you know, I guess. Let me sit my phone down. I'm going to show you guys something.
All right. Again, if you're just, it's a Merhole. So
Merhole.
Again, if you're just joining us, hit the like button, whether you're on Big and Funky's channel or the Atari Network channel. Why not watch it on both? I mean, double up. You got a phone, you got a computer.
I didn't shoot it to my channel. I didn't do that today.
Yeah, it's on your channel.
Oh, it is?
That's how Braylon and Hugo and Hugh Jass and a lot of them are watching it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because Braylon was trying to super chat you, but you're not monetized, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get no. I'm not monetized, even though I'm freaking quasi world famous. I got recognized in Wisconsin twice on my trip, which was pretty awesome.
Really? What were you recognized for? Just out of curiosity.
The movie The
WJHC.
Hike. Well, the movie The Hike, and then somebody was a super fan up in Baraboo, Wisconsin. So somebody, like, I signed a bunch of stuff, and that person gave me a bunch of stuff.
Awesome. Very
Felt good. I like Wisconsin.
I bet it
Wisconsin's a great little place.
I'm sure you love it now.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, now that I am back, I can show you guys some cool stuff here.
Here's K.R.A.Z's eBay haul.
So for Ghost on the Run, because I mean, this is, like I said, I really want to go full force with this. So this is the
that's cool. I like that.
And the best part is the shirt is made out of polyester and cotton collectively. So these shirts, they're blended with polyester and cotton. So this is one of the prototype shirts. So it's actually collecting hair. I don't know if you can see that. I have a white cat. Does
the hair cost extra?
No, that's free. No, so every shirt is shipped completely sealed, right?
Oh yeah.
And basically, they are very resistant to hair fibers. They also come with a K.R.A.Z Production hat.
Oh, very cool.
Pink for the ladies.
Nice.
And then we have we will not be doing these again. So this is a limited run of hand knitted Ghost on the Run plushes based off of the characters in the game.
And where can you get those?
So right now, so basically with the shirt, the hat, and the plushes together, it's $50, but the game is included for free.
That's on what platform? Can you choose what platform?
We're debating on creating a website for Ghost on the Run, but we're going to probably try to sell independently at launch through like eBay or something like that. If 50 is too much, I'm thinking we might do an audit on that and knock that down a couple of dollars. I haven't really tried to get community feedback from it yet. So we just started getting these in.
I'll give you $36.50.
36. That would get you a hat and a shirt, sir.
There you go. And again,
I want them plushies. I gotta have.
Yeah, those plushies are cool.
I've got a yarn Bernie from Bernie and the Tower of Doom. He needs to have some friends over there.
I was gonna say, Benny, if you want me, we'll figure this out here. Yeah, Kaz, if you give me the URL or whatever, I'll put it on the website in the chat.
So right now we haven't made.
Listen at you.
Yeah, I learned that. That's a website.
We haven't made the site yet to sell these because it'll go live when the game releases, right? So like I said, we haven't done a whole lot of marketing for merchandise because this is kind of a fairly new thing. So any photos that you've seen online of me with the Ghost on the Run shirt on, that was prototype run. So now we actually have a box. Oh God, it's a complete mess. I got a box up in this corner over here with like 50 shirts in it. So I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, I hope people like it. I hope people buy it. If they don't, it's cool too. But it's just like an added thing. If it sells out within a month, even better. You know, that helps our studio. And our goal is to save up enough money to be able to get it on the larger platforms. I've considered going through a publisher for Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. But being a publisher, I understand how frustrating that can be. And I'm sure for these larger companies who do their things a lot differently, it might put me in a spot that I might not feel comfortable with. So me and my friend Tyler Anderson, we are in charge of this project. He's the lead developer for the game. And we have a small team of people who are beta testing it. And me and him, we're going in on it together. So hopefully this business venture turns into a much bigger thing, you know?
Well, I hope so. And I listening to you talk about it, I'm getting excited for it. And we got to go in on those plushies, Benny. I'll take the shirt. You know, I'll get my own plushies. You buy your own. We'll figure it out. Our chat asking the real question.
You're telling me hold on. You're telling me right now you're going to buy your own, and then I'm going to buy my own, and we'll figure it out. Is that the plan?
To be honest with you,
we'll buy a couple each. We'll put them on
write
eBay.
That down.
for
Let me write it
more
down.
money. We'll scalp them. They're gonna
To
go.
be honest, there was a comment that just came up about sports games on the VCS, and to be honest with you, we definitely are lacking in certain genres. Sports, fighting games, horror games, and first-person shooters. You know, Ghost on the Run doesn't really count as a horror game, but it definitely ticks the boxes for an arcade first-person shooter. And then, we Last Stop was the first horror game to go up on the platform, unless you count Gore Crush, which is not really a horror game.
I won it. Yeah.
I know Tony Barnes is making a horror game. Tree Falls had one that was supposed to come out, but I don't know if it's still coming. Somebody commented about that and said that they had changed the way that they pay people, and Atari has. It used to be a monthly subscription, not subscription. That's not the word. It used to be a
like
monthly. So the way that it works is they send you an invoice of how many units you sold within the previous month, and it's you usually get it like in the middle of the month, and then at the end of the month you get your paycheck, right? So it's like every 2 weeks you get an update. Well, now they're I can't remember if it's quarterly or biannually. It's one of the two. And so people who do this full time, I can see how that's deterring. And so that's kind of one of those things you got to deal with. So
yeah, that's not a great decision. It doesn't seem like it.
It's not. No.
Just wait until you start getting your feature films on Tubi and Film Hub and all that stuff. It's a beating.
I'm kind of curious about that, but you'll have to tell me later, I think.
Yeah, well, I'll give you all the information, man. We need. What I was going to say is we need to hook up and talk about some stuff, because I can definitely. I'm not saying I'm Steven Spielberg or anything. Even though I watched Jurassic Park yesterday, I couldn't believe the continuity. I was like, how is this a major motion picture? But anyway, I mean, they would like do a shot where like the door was open, the door was closed, the door was open, the door was closed on his car, and then like the Tyrannosaurus Rex like came in with the door open. I was like, this was who was working the continuity that day? But anyway, I'm not Steven Spielberg, but I've been around making feature films that have been all over the world for a few months or a few years. So, John, I'm gonna have to go, man. I've got an hour to get back to the mothership.
Yeah.
I've got to save the lives of. We're running. Really, this guy's so busy, and you're sitting here selfishly talking to this cat.
No, yeah, absolutely, Vinny. Thanks for stopping in. We're going to wrap up real soon here anyway. If anybody wants to catch Vinny, head over to the Big and Funky Productions YouTube channel, Big and Funky website. Check out his.
I'll pitch myself. Yeah. Thank you.
You do that.
So, if you're interested, by the way, I'm sponsored by the Perfect Gene Company. And I'm telling you, I have no ass. Those jeans are fantastic. I've been hit on like crazy in these blue jeans. Check out the perfectgene.nyc. They're awesome. Go to the bigandfunkyproductions.com. You can watch all of our feature films on the splash page. They go to Tubi and Amazon and all that stuff too. And also always check us out for Atari 7800 reviews and articles, and also paranormal travel shows that are on small networks all over the place, and our comedy skits. And I guess that's it. And also, if you're a fan of Atari 7800, go to Atari7800forever.com. Every game review.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Vinny, as always.
This guy over here just plugged in a Sydney Sweeney ad. That's crazy.
He's sponsored by jeans. How does an individual get sponsored by jeans, Vinny? How did that happen?
I've been around, brother.
You must look really
board shorts?
I'm going to, and also, thank you for reminding me, I'm going to SilCon up in K.R.A.Z, Illinois. I've never been inside of K.R.A.Z before, but I will be in K.R.A.Z, Illinois at SilCon. That sounds like there'll probably be a lot of MERS up there too. I'm going to take my brass knuckles and a taser. But I'll be up there selling my movies and all the stuff associated. But yeah, I'll also have a display for the Perfect Gene Company up there. And also I'll be at the Tranquility Film Festival in Benton, Tennessee coming up. And I'll be selling my wares and judging a competition and hopefully making out with beautiful actresses out there in the Western Tennessee.
Very, very cool, Benny. All right. Well,
Wow.
I don't know how to follow that. I think we just need to wrap up the
I've never
podcast.
been inside of a gaze before. Well, lucky for you, I'm a lesbian, so you know.
Cover your mur hole and you'll be fine.
Okay. Were there
So,
any other questions, or we're wrapping up, right?
I think unless you have something else you want to hit on, Casdan, we'll just go through and do the shameless self promotion portion of the podcast.
Well, no, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, we have a couple games that are in the pipeline. Like I mentioned before, Ghost in the Run is right now top priority. A huge update coming to Last Stop, and then the sequel to Last Stop is being worked on. So as far as like homebrew 2600 games, we have 2 games coming from Kiki 2600, and then we also did a partnership with Starship Films. Oh yeah, this is actually really important. So Starship Films, which is run by Joe Graceffi, out of Austin, Texas, or I think it's Houston. It's somewhere in Texas. He made a bunch of films back in 2013 to 2016, and those films also had 2600 homebrew games made on based on them.
Oh wow!
Those games were released on a very limited run of cartridges. I think Conjoined sold 75, Dark Knight was 20, and then a private run for Laughing Boy, or it wasn't officially released, one of the two.
Very limited.
Very limited. The ROMs have never been online anywhere. You can't buy them off Atari Age, nothing. And we made a contract to get those published. So I'm trying to talk with people at Atari to get all 3 of those published as soon as possible.
On the
What
VCS?
what was the name
Yes.
of the production? What was the name of the film company again?
Starship Film Productions.
What kind of movies were they? Do you know?
They do horror comedy. Joe Graceffi was the director producer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the games are developed by Gemitronics as well.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
I think they're also going to be doing a special limited edition cartridge in honor of the 10-year anniversary for Dead of Night.
Oh, wow. We'll have to keep an eye out for that for sure. I love it when rare, hard to find stuff comes out on the VCS, especially where you can grab it for $5.35 or $2.99 or $9.99. Either way, it's a lot better.
Cheap.
Well, you know, whatever they list it for, $12.99.
Toledo.
It'll be $57.34. Okay.
Well, still cheaper than eBay is my point.
Jesus.
Very cool. If we wanted to find you on the internet, Casdan, social media, anything?
Yeah, so I am on Blue Sky, which is like the new version of Twitter. That's kind of a new thing for me, but I do have a YouTube page called K.R.A.Z Productions. I have a weird name, I know that, but you can Google my name, Casdan is on, and you'll find a lot of things that I'm in, from fan films to independent productions to video game development, YouTube videos, the works. So you can subscribe to K.R.A.Z Productions on YouTube, or you could check out my Instagram, my Blue Sky. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me anywhere except for your grandma's closet, because it's, you know, kind of weird if I'm
already there. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
He ain't got no room because it's already there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm gonna look.
Very musty in there.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna befriend you on Facebook tonight, and then I've got some information I want to talk to you about.
I knew you guys would hit it off. That's the main reason I wanted to do this.
What are you talking about? You were telling me he was a freaking meth head from the hills, and he was chasing his sister, and I was like, this guy looks like an upstanding young man.
And you're not, Vinny?
He's a college-educated fellow.
This guy's gonna message me in my inbox later tonight talking about buying my underwear. I just know it.
Yeah, merholes. All right, and if you're watching on Vinny's channel, come over to the Atari Network. Check out our videos. A lot of cool stuff going up. I finally got Tiger Heli. We reviewed that over the weekend.
How'd you like it?
I love it. I'm hooked to it. I got to stop playing it so I can play other stuff. I got so many games I got to get through. But I've only been.
What stage did you make it to?
I made it to, my highest was 7, I think, 6 or 7.
That's where I went. I got to 7.
Really? It's hard. It's hard, but I love it. I can't stop playing.
What's hard?
My
when
Merhole.
You play it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But also we have
what's in that Merle?
Also, ECDHE was on the channel. He tried to teach me all about the Atari 7800, how the games worked, what a DLL display list was, and how bands work. I tried my
Nerd
best to
shit.
follow along, but I'll tell you what, anybody else could understand it because he made it so incredibly easy and digestible. So don't go off my ability to learn and retain this stuff. Well, very
Now,
cool.
is he making a game about us and our animosity towards one another?
He actually has made a game about us. I don't know what's happening with that yet, but Vinny Vaders is potentially coming out soon. So we will figure
Maybe
that
K.R.A.Z
out.
can publish that crap and put it up on the
Yeah,
VCS
just
and have
Anything's possible.
Yeah, you know,
Have it-
I mean, hey, if this is on there, we can definitely be on there. No offense to Zero Page, we
I
love.
can't believe you said that, man. Them are good Christian cat healers, and they talk
know-
to the cats and whisper and stuff, and they
man,
pray with the cats.
They do. They love the cats. All right, guys, thanks a lot, Kaz, for being on. Vinny, you know. All right.
Hey, on that 0 Point homebrew game with the cats, is it like the movie Cats? Did they put it? There it is. Did they put
Yeah.
Yeah,
CGI
actually-
buttholes on the cats?
Well, no,
Uh,
actually, so this might come as a surprise, but that character sprite of James O'Brien is actually Taylor Swift in disguise.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to CGI the buttholes on that cat. I thought there was a controversy. I read that on the Toronto Star up there, but I guess
Toronto
not.
Star.
I don't think I've seen any CGI buttholes, and I don't know if that's ever going to be in my search history, except for maybe later
Well, that
tonight.
Yeah, why is Sonic Inflation still on my screen, by the way?
Yeah.
Did you actually Google
Where's
it? I'm so
Vance?
sorry.
All right, guys, we really do got to wrap it up. Again, Kaz, thank you so much for being on here.
It
Great
has been a
guest.
pleasure.
I don't know if it was a good podcast, but it was a ton of fun, that's for sure. Benny, again, you're fired. All right, guys, like, subscribe,